angle much bigger up here. Okay. Most of the people, they set this angle to the latitude. So when you get the data associated with the numbers that you get, the solar window for different settings, latitude plus 15 degrees minus, you're going to get those numbers. And from that data, based on the location that you are, you make the decision whether or not you go up there and change the tilt angles. Okay? This is a very important. As a matter of fact, a lot of you guys, when you go sell those systems, an educated guy, you go and you explain that to the consumers. And remember, when we're going to do, guys, I know it's getting a little bit late. When we're going to go into site analysis and everything later on, when we're going to talk about site analysis, one of the most important things that you're going to tell the consumer who calls you up and tells you, I want to put a solar system in my house, what's the first thing you're going to do? Somebody calls you to install a solar system for their house. You go up there. You look at, what's the first thing you're going to do before you do anything else? To make sure whether the site is a good candidate for a solar system. It doesn't matter, whether the customer, wants it and is willing to pay. That is a good candidate for a solar system. If it's not, it's not. Of course, some of you will install anything. But some of us, I should say, not some. Okay, but that's the key things. Because, yes?
How do you know if you're in a winter sun patch right now, summer sun patch? How is that? Like today, if you have what are you facing? Is that like summer and winter with a March and April?
Yeah, there's a date. We said that the solar window, it's defined by the what? By the equinox, by different types of equinox, the summer and the winter. So
we're in a winter sun patch right now.
We're right here. So actually, if you have a system, guys, take it easy. I know it's getting late, and I know what it is to sit down for a long period of time. If you have a system now, this angle has to be higher, facing, because you are in the winter period. The sun, the sun's at a different angle. At some point, now those numbers are available, so you can calculate where you're going to get out of here. You can calculate out of here for a particular location, and then you can calculate what's going to be under this condition. So you do a trade-off, and you said, okay, I'm going to set this 15 degrees so that the latitude and so forth. Now it's going to cover what? The average production over the two things. Because for me to go and adjust all those panels every time, twice a year, it's not cost effective. And 90%, I don't know. You solar guys would tell me whether or not you guys go and adjust anything, because I haven't seen any solar guys. Maybe it's a good, business to go around and adjust angles. Yes? Unless you space them in a different space, yes. There's a lot of other things. It's the positioning between one to the other. As you are increasing the angle, till you put a shade on the other module. So you have to space in a different way. So you have to do a little bit more design effort for that. Practically, in the long run, you just set it up there and that's about it. Yes, go ahead. The question is whether or not, guys. Yes, the azimuth, you have to adjust the azimuth as well as the tilt. What would you say? You have imperfections of the roof plane.
Yeah, it's not directly set, so ideally
you want to get the panels as much as close to facing the south as possible.
Right, but you go this way.
You can tilt them, yeah, you can tilt them. Ideally, you want to be able to get the maximum direct radiation from the sun. You can, you can align them. Ideally, you want to be perpendicular to the sun rays. But if you have, if you don't have, the site analysis actually is the one that actually And it's the first step you're taking and actually define the site is good enough. And you take, there's an actually form, it's actually in your book, that you take all this information there and you do what's called a preliminary or pre-assessment on the site to make sure it's good for solar panels. The right way. That's the right way, and actually the practical way, if it's facing south, we throw a solar panel. I mean, I'm telling you what's been happening in the industry. If it's facing south, you're a good candidate for that. You know, you have to understand, guys, there's a case called a design and there's an optimal design. You're designing something because you feel it meets your requirements, and then you optimize the design by doing all this tweaking on it. Sometimes that effort is very expensive. And then when you trade it off, it's not cost effective.
Those panels have to be installed vertically or horizontally?
They install them, which panels? You install them to the form of the roof. The idea, let me tell you, we have a slanted roof. One of my French inspectors, guys, the question was, you have a slanted roof, right? And you said, do I install this vertically, horizontally, and so forth?
Well, you put that, you're going to put the panel, let's say, flat on the roof, but does it go this way or that way, or does it not?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Of course, we have a slanted roof, and because one of my friend's inspectors, actually, he's off the because he can generate so much electricity up here. He practically has a $5 bill in his electric bill because he was able to get rebates and all kinds of things. It's actually, he has a slanted roof, but a set of his panels is like vertically like this on the roof, because he calculated the angles up there. He figured he could get a few extra watts per day to meet some minimum requirement that he had. So he put a whole bunch of solar panels there, even though he didn't get the maximum output out of them. But for that reason, of course, it looks terrible. And his neighbor is ready to kill him, so he put trees up to there because it's right next to a $2 million home, but that's a different story.
The township wouldn't have a problem with that?
Excuse me?
The township wouldn't have a problem with that?
It happened when this solar business came and they started all the kinds of rebate stuff and so forth, and he invested a lot of money on it, so he was able to do it. Yeah, there's actually a law that deals about this solar panel trespassing and so forth. If you're interested, there's a whole document written on it for litigation cases for those things. Before you can install a solar system at some location, what are some of the considerations that you have to do from litigation points of view? Yes? The question was, I'm sorry, because he asked me a question. The question was that there are some town requirements before you install a solar system. Check every town. They might have some unique